Let's touch a little bit about the players that have been signed under this new regime so far. In the context of this season, the four main names, Lenny Yoro, Matthijs de Ligt, Nosair Mazraoui, as well as Joshua Zirkzee. When you look at these four names, Lee and Gary, who do you think will be a hit? Who do you think is at risk of being a bit of a miss for Manchester United?
Well, I'm ever the optimist when it comes to Manchester United. Yoro, obviously, unfortunately, he's got injured, so we're not being able to see him. De Ligt, I'm sure, will fit in. I think it will be a bit harsh on Harry Maguire if he starts leaving him out after he's played quite well the first two games. Mazraoui, I really like the look of full-back. I thought it was a real good test for him today. And I thought he looked after McTominay really well. I don't think McTominay was really in the game, so I thought he played really decent today. Zirkzee, I love the look of him. He's definitely not a number 9. I think he does like to play just off. So I'd like to see him once Rasmus is in the team and they're link up. But he looks a really tidy player and a big unit of an athlete. I think he's strong, reads the game really well, great feet. So at the moment they're all looking good. But I think I have to go back to what Gary says. You can't judge so early into the season. You have to give at least 10 games before we can have a proper look at anybody.
Yeah, and when you look at the fact that these are the first 4 big signings under the new regime as such, you know, director of football, new chief executive, etc., etc., these are the 4 they're going to be judged on to start with. So from their perspective, let's hope they've got it right. Yeah. And I'm looking at it, and there's no flashing lights with any of those 4 for me at the moment saying danger. I think they're all going to fit in, and I think they're all going to ultimately be good acquisitions for Manchester United.
Who's your favourite? The one that you like the most amongst the 4? I
think the difficulty with that is, how do you compare a full-back with Zirkzee, who's apparently a 9.5?
So perhaps, let me rephrase the question then. Which player did Man United need the most?
Is that any easier?
No, I don't know. I suppose you would sort of say Mazraoui would be the one that would be the most important at the moment. Wan-Bissaka, the manager obviously wasn't too keen. He likes Dalot, but I do think Dalot can give the ball away and get caught napping a little bit at times. I think De Ligt is very important. I think, especially because of the injuries they had in that position last year, I think if they can get a regular back 4, that would make things a lot more sustainable. But I mean, as a forward-thinking player, I like Zirkzee, and I can't wait to watch more of him. I think he looks an exceptional talent. I think he'll score goals, and he'll lift bums off seats and excite people.
Last couple of questions, really. There are rumours, there are reports coming out of Italy at the moment that Napoli are really trying to come in for Scott McTominay. They've apparently had a bit of £25 million rejected. They are expected to increase their offer, so which essentially means there is also the possibility that could have been Scott McTominay's final appearance in a Manchester United shirt. We don't know for sure. Anything can happen until the window gets shut. But should this be McTominay's final appearance for Manchester United, would his departure, and if he does leave, would it be detrimental, or is it the right decision both for United and for him?
I think it would probably be... I could see it going either way. You know, I think Scott McTominay loves the club. He's been there since he was a kid. He knows all about the club. And when he comes on, he works his socks off. He puts a shift in. He never lets anybody down. He'll score you the odd goal now and again, which at vital times as well. So I think he's been a fantastic ambassador for the club. If he was to go to play more football and to give the club a bit of money to be able to strengthen elsewhere, then I think that's very viable as well. But Scott McTominay been an unbelievable servant for the club. And if he wants to go and better himself and play more regular football, then more power to him.
And I think the fact that he started on the bench today maybe tells us that at this moment in time, he's not commanding a start. As a player, you want to play, for sure. But it's a tough decision to leave a club as big as Manchester United for anybody, because there aren't too many directions you go from Manchester United other than sideways or down, really.
Especially if you've come through the ranks as well.
Sure. So that would be a tough call for him, personally. And there's very few opportunities that once you make that move that you get the chance to come back. OK, Gundogan's done it with Manchester City. He's gone to Barcelona and he's now back at Manchester City. But that's a rarity.
Yeah.
So, you know, if McTominay does decide to go, then, you know, I think it's a farewell forever for him and Manchester United.